What's up, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit the subscribe button. Trust me, you will not regret it. And if you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I appreciate the support. Guys, I'm going to do a story today that I seen earlier today, and it's about a New Orleans business owner who dropped her daughter off at daycare one morning and was called back a few hours later because the daughter had apparently got into a fight with a 1-year-old. Now, the daughter is just a little bit under the age of 1. But guys, I'm going to show you this news clip real quick. We'll come back and talk about it. But I'm going to say this real quick. A lot of people out here that have never taken their kid to daycare, you know, especially if you're a first-time parent, is a very hard thing to do. We see these stories all over the internet, and we see all these pictures of what happens to children when they go there. Now, things happen, but I mean, sometimes some of these pictures are so vicious looking, you know, that it makes you think, where were the people watching these kids for all this to happen? The story I'm going to tell you today about Samanda Ford's daughter, Harley, and what happened to her. This right here screams pure irresponsible neglect when watching children. It's no way all this damage happened to this little girl. And she's all right, by the way, guys. I just wanted to state that when you see these pictures of how this girl looks, it's not funny. It's gonna be jaw-dropping. But just listen to the story, hear what they gotta say, and then we'll come back because a couple of things in it don't add up. And you guys can put it together as always, like you always do. Roll the clip. Check it out.
Susie Kurt, the incident happened last Thursday at Angels Haven Daycare on South Claiborne Avenue in Hollygrove. A preschool Samanda Ford says was recommended to her. Ford says her daughter was attacked during her 3rd day at the school.
To relive it is just a horror.
Samanda Ford is talking about the moment she was reunited with her daughter, 19-month-old Harley, at Angels Haven Daycare around 11:15 February 9th. Minutes earlier, she received a call from the school's director asking her to come to the school.
And I see her face, and it looks like she's been mauled by a cat. So I start screaming, I'm crying, I drop my purse, you know, and I'm just like, what happened? I took Harley, and I'm just asking her what happened.
Ford says she was told Harley was involved in a tussle with a 1-year-old at the school. The school's director and daughter, who works there, went with Ford to the ER to get Harley examined.
7 bites up one arm. She has a couple bites up the other arm. She has pants on, but he's bit through her pants on both legs. You can see the teeth marks. They're clear and visible.
While at the hospital, Ford says the nurse started to ask questions to find out what happened.
So she says, what time did this happen? I say 11 o'clock because that's the time they called me. The daughter, Nicole, says, oh no, it happened a little before 8.
Ford says she wasn't given an explanation as to why it took them so long to call. We called Angels Haven Daycare to see if they'd like to share their side of the story. The director said no and hung up.
It was hard enough for me to send my child to daycare because I'm a business owner. And it's, you know, this is just crazy for this to be happening on her 3rd day after something that I already fought myself with so much, you know.
Guys, first and foremost, I want to say I'm glad the little baby, Harley, is okay. But honestly, man, that right there screams irresponsibility on the part of the daycare center. And the reason why I say that is this. Yeah, in the daycare center, you have kids being watched, right? Now, I don't know how many 1-year-olds there were with toddlers like that, but usually they have them within a 5 or 6 month age of being around each other. So I don't want to put any type of situation of like that was a problem. My thing is, who's monitoring these kids? I mean, seriously, who's monitoring these kids? Now, you know, children have different cries. I think, honestly, when they watching these kids are constantly crying all day, and they're not really paying attention, or they probably got headphones on sometimes when the kids are just doing their thing. And, you know, or they might have so many kids they can't keep track of all of them because they're all over different parts of a selected area that somebody's watching. But still, man, you still got to make up for that as far as your business goes with making sure everybody's safe. That's embarrassing. You don't know how that lady, Samanda Ford, would have reacted as she came there. Like she said, she cried, grabbed the baby, and took off. Said the baby looked like she was scratched by a cat, and she did. I mean, looking at them, they weren't real deep scratches, but I think because the baby was lights of a lighter tone, it made it more intense. But like, come on, that took time to do. That little boy scratched her face up like that. Then he bit on her on different parts. She had to be hollering. I think it was somebody just like, stop over there. Stop. Oh, he's so bad. You know what I'm saying? It's no way that much damage came, and she's so fair-skinned, it would have came immediately with seeing her getting all red. That's the part that I'm like, yo, somebody need to be held accountable for that. Then, they said the director's daughter or whatever went with her to the thing, and then now the times is mixed up. What other lies is you telling? I mean, if I was somebody, I'd go look at the, the records of how this daycare is, if this ever happened to anybody else. Now, the bottom line is this, guys. You cannot stop children from chewing on each other. That's just a fact. Some children, they're still 1 year old. They put things in their mouth. That's how they identify with stuff, with taste. But, I mean, at 1 year old, it got to be some type of home training when you're like, hey, don't bite. Don't bite. So, I mean, this right here can go up in the air many different ways. But all in all, man, I mean, just the horror of being called to the school. You get up there and they're like, and they grab the baby and put the baby and you see your baby like that, man, that would send any parent through the roof. I'm just glad that the little girl is okay. And I don't even know what the next step is. They said she had 9 bites on her alone, not mentioning the scratches all over her face. Like I said, how did they not see that? How did they not see the baby digging in her face? And them don't even look like dig marks. Them look like he was just doing, like hitting on her and scratching on her and stuff like that. And I'm like, nobody's seen that? No responsibility at all? Then they're going to say it was a tussle. How toddler's going to tussle? A tussle is when you handling it and going all over the place like she was trying to hold her own. That wasn't no tussle. Come on. That's the wrong word to use. Honestly, that's the wrong word. But listen, guys, I know how it is. When we put my little girl in daycare at 3 months old, man, that was hard for me. That was hard. Luckily, everything worked out okay. Now, I'm going to say something. Daycare does have its advantage. And I'm going to say this in good faith of daycare. I'm not trying to scare nobody off from daycare. Because, I mean, this can happen to anybody's child, and it depends. But daycare is good for 2 things that I've seen with my own eyes. The development of your child, because they're around other children, will expediently move forward. Like my daughter was walking at 10 months old. She just got up at daycare one day and just walked. You know what I'm saying? And it was way ahead of schedule. I noticed when she was home, she was more socialized. A lot of times kids in daycare are more friendly as they grow up. I mean, as they start to grow up. Well, yeah, grow up. As they start to grow up in age. And they're not really scared of people. A lot of them are more friendlier too because they're used to grown-ups and people that they don't know around them and new kids coming and leaving the class. So, I mean, it does have some good benefits being in daycare. But, I mean, stuff like this, I don't know how often it happens. I've never seen that until I started really covering these stories. But, I mean, come on. It's no way. It's no way. The daycare center my daughter was at, there were like 2 people in the room at all times. And they were active with the children. That much carnage on that little girl is no way that nobody knows that. So that's my only issue with it. But I mean, I'm glad everything worked out. Miss Ford had a scare of her life, but good thing her baby's okay. As always, guys, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me how you would handle that. And tell me what you think. If I missed something out there in my commentary, or I did that I might have missed, because I do that a lot. And just share it with the community in the comment box. But as always, I'm Stock Mark Steve for the I'm tongue-tied, it's Monday. The Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.